feel like that's what I've learned to do in the past couple years is like reinvest in yourself through self-help books and podcasts and just working out and like well-being and health. And it's great. It's great when you get to a point where you're like you see the progress and you feel good. And
right.
But I don't think I can do that forever.
Right.
Because it's just like, what's the point? I will be.
What are you upgrading yourself for?
What exactly? What is? We will all be gone at some point, and
right.
say I become like the fittest and healthiest human in the world, but for what?
Yeah.
It starts to seem selfish.
Yeah.
At a certain point. So I think I know you've talked about your music and your creativity, like your legacy, as being kind of one of those things that you'll leave behind, right?
Yeah.
I think we talked about that recently. So
yeah.
I can relate to that. That you almost it's not selfish to want to be a creator.
Yeah.
To want to have your voice heard. It can actually come from the opposite of that once you realize like
right.
You want to help people. You want to leave a legacy or something like that. Right? Like
yeah.
That's just the wave I've been on.
Hell yeah, bro. Impact. That's something
yeah.
too. Like, no, man, that's super cool to hear. And I feel like all that's just happening. That kind of thing just I feel like happens organically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you realize like you know there's whenever you pick up a new interest or pursuit or you know like craft or something that you're working on, like you know the immediate initial you know drive or purpose for that is more obvious. Like you know when you're one to like start exercising, to like feel better, look better, be healthier, like just like those kind of things or whatever. Like those surface level motives are more obvious at first, but you're right. Like as you just get down the path of like, all right, you know, like I've got myself on cruise control, or I'm like happy with my own growth. It's just like now where is this ride going? Like where is this ride going? Surely there are some turns, you know, ahead to where like this whole, you know, momentum that I've got is going to take me, you know, and that's super interesting. I haven't. I mean, it's cool to hear you come from that place because it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I definitely connect with some of the stuff you're saying. Like I would agree, you know, to a degree. I just haven't thought it quite that articulately as far as like what do I want? You know, I will admit that I do get a little more lost in the day to day sometimes, where I am just trying to like do my best that day. But I do think it could be healthier. It could be healthy to zoom out a little more often and be like, all right, you know, each of these days that we have are like these little, you know, atoms or little parts of this bigger thing that is like developing or unfolding. So like, what kind of day do I want to have based on like what kind of life do I want to have?
Right.
Like the choices and stuff that I do today, you know, where am I pointing? Where am I pointing my compass? Like where am I, you know, where am I going with all this like stuff that I'm doing? And for me, like I don't think that like I really know. But there are things that I know, and that's like that I'm really driven to like achieve my greatest potential. So, I mean, that's a pretty maybe generic, maybe cliche thing to say, but like I don't know exactly, you know, like what that is, or there isn't one thing that I want. Like, yeah, I create. So, like, I want to have really good records and really good, you know, recordings, conversations, and like that kind of stuff's cool. I really want to have impact. Like, I want to make a difference. Like, in I was reflecting on this the other day, and I think I was even like maybe writing about it or journaling about it or something, because I'm definitely in a journaling slash regular kind of songwriting phase.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was like wondering, like, you know, how much of me working on myself, like how much of it is like my ego, you know, because I know that I've grown a lot, and the ego has, you know, dissolved a little bit compared to, you know, a version of me from 5, 7 years ago, whatever. But you know, I still feel like, okay, well, if I want to have impact, like, how much of that is for my own ego? How much do I just want to, you know, be the guy? How much of that is, how much of me wanting to have a legacy is me wanting to have a legacy for, for legacy's sake? It's almost like I have this chip on my shoulder where, um, you know, I've like opened a can of worms of like, you know, starting to rap and being a creator and being like good at it. It's almost like I'm gonna have to reach some closure with that one day, as far as like what I achieved with it, you know. And it's almost like I have this chip on my shoulder of like, I need to prove to myself that I can achieve as much or whatever I like believe I can achieve based on like my gifts and like my path right now, you know, like. But like I don't have like these clear cut things like a lot of people might, where it's like, well, my, you know, symbol of success or mission accomplished is like win a Grammy, you know. It's like people have that, like, and like, sure, that's pretty cool, I guess, if that's like the lane that you're in, and like, you know, you've got that opportunity. Well, that's sick, but like, then what? You get it? Okay.
Right.
You know, like I can't go for these things that are like milestones, you know, classic milestones of success like I used to. It's hilarious, man. I'm pretty sure I tuned back into one of my old like life goal lists or something. This wasn't recent. This was like maybe years ago that I opened up something from years prior, all that. But it had these funny things on it, like these like numeric values, these dollar amounts, these like achievements that were just like able to be listed. It's almost like the type of things you and I, people like you and I, can like have or experience in this world. They can't be written on a list. They can't have a bullet. They don't have a bullet point next to them. They could, but even if you put it there and you try to communicate that, describe it as best you can, it wouldn't do justice like the feeling of what you and I think are yearning for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think
it can't be quantified.
That's a really good, because sometimes I get so confused when I think about these things, like what do I want? Because but you hit the nail on the head there, I think, in that I just get tired of being around, or you know, and living in a culture where the goals are Grammys. The goals are followers. A work promotion. The goals are followers. The goals are likes. The goals are money. The car. And I mean, it just seems like I'm not, I know not everybody is like that, but I want to talk to people about things that are not involving that. Like, kind of like, that's why I enjoy our conversations. Like, we can talk about this now because, you know, when I think about the things that do make me happy and the things that I do find meaningful in my life right now, it is those more experience type things with other good people. It's just like being a good person. It's just treating people with respect and helping people and receiving help from people that I admire. I find that as I get older, I don't really admire that many people anymore. And it's just like a funny thing. Like, I remember, I think you said to me, like, you don't really feel like you have a role model, right? Like, besides maybe our parents or something like that. But like, I feel similar. Where like the people that I like, and the things that the people that I like and what they say, they might not. It's their life's mission to just talk about this kind of stuff. It could be like a Sam Harris or an Aaron Alexander. I don't know if that's really realistic for me to become that. Just like for you, and this is just me speaking, it might not be a realistic thing for you to be like, I'm going to win a Grammy. Right. But that doesn't mean that I can't be spiritually enlightened and live and find fulfillment maybe I can have a voice in that, and maybe you can win a Grammy. I don't know. I'm not. I didn't mean that in any way, like to
I know.
put down. But like, I mean, at some point we have to be realists, right? Like, I'm a civil engineer, and I'm not Aaron Alexander. I don't have a podcast that gets a lot of. I don't have a sponsored podcast and a book out and things like that. Can I one day? Maybe. Yeah. And that's where it's like, it can be daunting to be like, that's what I want, and I'm on this different path. Or you can learn to find those types of things in your own path and just make your own path. I think it's challenging because you when you do find people that you like or people that you don't like, it's easy to be like, okay, I'm not doing that. I do want to do this. And at certain points, like, we are ourselves, and we just need to like be comfortable with that. And yeah, man, it's one of those things where I find myself just growing. And especially now, like, when it is uncomfortable, when there is a little bit of doubt, when it's like, what am I doing? Am I a little bit not 100% fulfilled? And, you know, even a night like tonight, I'm pumped to be talking, but there's part of me that's like, I don't know if I have anything valuable to say. That's a cop out. You know what I mean? That's what's that gonna do? That's not gonna help me find the answers to my questions.
Right. It's just gonna delay it.
It's just gonna delay it. Yeah, and I think that right there is progress, to understand that. You know what I mean? It's about learning to find the small victories. I think you're right, and learning to see the beauty and the choices that you make, and the little positive momentum over time. A lot of times we don't see it because we're living our lives, but it's happening.
Oh, bro,
it's happening for sure. And let's just say there's a ton to be grateful for in our lives, right? Like, we have amazing people in our lives. We live in a country where we're safe. We live in Grandview, Ohio, which is like a bubble. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're just like blessed. Like, we have enough money to live comfortably and stuff like that. Like, I have to actively remind myself of that too. That, like, the fact that we can have these conversations and think in this way and kind of hone in on some of these, like, maybe like things we don't yet understand or things that bother us, is like, that's a blessing, you know? So
for sure,
I gotta always remind myself of that. And just, you know, it is, that's when I like to come back to the moment. That's when the 10-minute meditation on the Waking Up app is super helpful and clutch, because sometimes it's so hard because you get glimpses of understanding things, and then you get overwhelmed with the future. But just to bring it back is just always, bring it back to the moment is always really helpful. And you just got to begin again, like, a lot.
That's, you know, what you're saying about the moment, you know, to people like you and I, to you and me, like, the moment is our currency. The moment is our currency, you know, these days, as we have developed and evolved, like, the present, like, that's our currency. In this, you know, it's crazy to think. It's quite a perspective shift if you really think about the fact that you at this moment have enough money and material things to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Already. This is what I want to do right now.
Right.
You know how much this cost me? Let me check my Venmo. $11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I have the time tonight. That's the one part of the currency. That's the main part of the currency, really, that I needed. And I'm doing with it what I want to. I don't want to be somewhere else right now, spending money for the sake of, like, just like these things or whatever. Sure, certain experiences cost money, but we have enough money for those.
Right.
For those in general, right? Like, in within reason or whatever. But I think it's cool, and it's just reassuring to think that, like, you know, this high that I think I crave too, that, you know, might be a little different for each of us, but like in general, these highs that we're chasing, I feel like we're just chasing like a feeling, you know, and not in the sense of like an altered state feeling. We are just chasing like I feel like, at least for me, I'm just chasing like the ultimate vibe.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm just chasing the ultimate vibe. Like,
yeah.
Like how can I get to like this? I know there's vibes to be had out there. Like I know that like I've had a lot of great experiences, right? But I do feel like something. You know how anytime that you do something or you go experience something, you can't help but as a human being before that experience, kind of in your mind, predicting what that might be like, or even hoping what that could be. And then if it's over with, 99 times out of 100 you feel like that was amazing, but like it just could have been a little better. I don't know why. It just could have been a little bit better. So like I feel like these things that I'm doing as far as like working on myself, reading, listening, like creating and all this stuff, I'm like making myself. I'm trying to shape myself into the ultimate version of myself, which isn't the like richest version of myself or the most accomplished version of myself. It's like the version of myself that can achieve the ultimate feeling and the ultimate vibe, the ultimate baseline vibe, the ultimate middle. Like you're talking about the consistent, you know, the consistent baseline. Like I want my baseline to be a high.
Raise the baseline.
Raise the baseline.
Yeah.
So like
that's a great way to describe it, because you can't raise your baseline like in a day, in a month. It's kind of the whole 1% better type of mentality. Like even if it's 0.01% better every day, over time we'll raise our baselines and whatnot, and it's really about living in the moment, right? That's what it is. I think we all, think about all the things that bother you and bother me. I could get caught up with, okay, I don't know, I'm worried about something it's normally in the future, right? You're worried about how an interaction is going to go, how a project is going to go, how, if you're going to have enough money in the future, or if you're going to be healthy in the future, are you going to be lonely in the future, are you going to be successful? And it really is as simple as like just grounding in the now, and being content. Like Sam Harris always says, like realizing that your conscious mind is troubleless. There really are no waves to consciousness. It's just, you just are. But we have all these thoughts that just we go on magic carpet rides, dude, with these thoughts, and it's just learning to jump off and go back to just perfect, clear water, a cloudless sky is what we really are. And
yeah, man,
I just think that is it's so simple. Like I can get I've had glimpses of it just in this conversation, like here and there, like it just happens really quick where you're just like, everything is perfect, everything is good. But then you start thinking, it's just like we're our own, like we create all these things.
You're a product of your own experience. Like you are highly responsible for your own experience.
Highly responsible.